Hello and welcome to another painting video. In this video, I'll be painting more Black Templars. In this case, a vehicle called the Impulsor, which is a fancy new hovering rhino. I've been busy with this army quite enthusiastically and haven't had a lot of time to make videos, but more will come in the future. As for the Impulsor, this might be a bit of a repeat from the Crusader video, but let's see how to easily paint a Grimdark Black Templar vehicle, shall we? Let's begin. After priming, I used the airbrush to spray the entire model with Doombull Brown. I've actually started doing this with all my Black Templar models, which saves a lot of time on that first step. I then dry brush Scrag Brown on the entire model. This will enhance the brown highlights and weathering that will be created later. The biggest area of a Black Templar vehicle is the black armor. On a large panel, I stipple on matte black with a sponge, and I use an old brush for the smaller parts. I also stay away from the edges. Now you can use any black you want for this step. I personally like the matte black from the armor painter, but a Baden black will give the armor a more satin finish. I then start to volume highlight the armor. For the first step, I use the Darkness, which is an excellent paint from the John Blanche paint set from the army painter. I'll be using quite a few paints of these sets in this video. I enhance the highlight with Dark Reaper. With volume highlighting, I highlight the panels and shapes on spots where the light would hit. This is a bit of a different way of highlighting that, in my opinion, works a lot better than edge highlighting, which I don't really enjoy painting. The highlight gets further enhanced with Thunderhawk Blue. Notice that I make each step smaller than the last step. This will give the effect that the light is focused. The final highlight is Fenrisian Grey. I really like this set of highlighting colors. The blue-gray really helps to sell the armor as black. As is with all my Black Templars, I will paint the weapons red. I apply the same technique as the black armor and stipple on Mephiston red to lay the base for the red armor. I then layer on Evil Sunz Scarlet, highlight with Fiery Vermillion, and add the last small highlight, which is Wild Rider Red. This creates a vibrant red armor, which is also perfect for Blood Angels. White armor is difficult to paint. Here I'm going to build up the white. I start with Gargoyle Grey. This is a war paint fanatic paint and is very high in pigment. Although you have to water it down a little bit, the paint covers quite well. I then layer on Worn Stone, a lighter color which helps to sell the armor as a dirty white. I end with Ivory White, which creates a warmer tone in the white and offsets the cool black armor very nicely. Now I've also been painting the Purity banners the same way. I first add some script with matte black. Alternatively, you could maybe use transfers for this step. I water down Skeleton Horde with Lamium Medium and apply it to the entire banner to create a dirty parchment look. Because I water it down and it's contrast paint, it's easy to manipulate while it's wet. Just wet your brush and remove where you want. I then water down Garaghak's Sewer with Lamium Medium and apply this to the bottom of the parchment to really dirty it up. Note that I don't add this to the white armor to differentiate between the two. The seals of the banner, or Purity seals, actually are base coated with Pink Horror. Then layered with Emperor's Children, highlighted with Fulgrim Pink. Finally, a thinned down wash of Carroburg Crimson is applied to make it look like those classic seals. Now this step really brings the model together. I paint all the parts I want metal with heavy metal. You can either base coat the entire part or dry brush to keep some of the brown showing in the recesses. This will create some additional weathering. Gold I paint with the excellent Emperor's Gold. I really like this paint. It covers well and it looks like a really nice Grimdark gold. I shade both the metal and gold with Grimdark Shadow. Alternatively, I found that the gold can also be shaded with Voodoo Shade from the John Blanche set. This also works very well. Metal is highlighted with Shining Silver, and the gold with Canoptek Alloy. Finally, I add a watered down Garaghak sewer to the hover plates at the bottom to dirty them up. The lights on the vehicle I want red are base coated with Vermillion and shaded with Blood Angel Red. I then highlight one part of the light with Wild Rider Red and add a brighter highlight of Fire Dragon Bright on that same area. I end with a dot of white on the opposite side of the highlight to add a light reflection. For the yellow lights on the front, I'm going to base coat them with Glowing Inferno. You need about 2 or 3 coats. I highlight them with Inner Light and end with a highlight of white paint. And here we have the Black Templars Impulsor. It's growing on me. It'll never be as cool as a rhino, but because I already painted an entire fleet of rhinos in my lifetime, it's good to have some variation. If you want to know how I painted the base, please take a look at the Crusader Squad video. I'll be back shortly with a Moonstone tutorial where I paint the nanny and her suckling psychopumps. It's gonna be a weird one, folks. In the meantime, be sure to follow me on Instagram where I'll post photos of current projects and behind the scenes stuff. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and thanks for watching.